Come on, Tim! Come on, Tim! Let's go!
With 1 month just weeks away from his showdown with Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather isn't acting like a retired icon soaking in fame and attention. Instead, his training and preparing with the intensity of a man determined to defend the reputation he spent years building.
Get back! Why are you shooting at me? He said, how you got a opinion? I'm an old man. I'm an old man. I'm on. So record the old man. Oh, whoa. He turned it up now.
That undefeated 50-0 mark represents far more than statistics. It's a career legacy he refuses to let slip away. Many focus on the luxury cars, expensive jewelry, and extravagant image, believing his competitive edge has faded. But counting Floyd out because of that could prove to be a serious miscalculation.
Get back. Get back. No. Right to him, right to him, right to him, right to him. I catch it. Hit bro, left right. I just flip, bro. I should. Right, left foot. Shot right. Spin roll. Spin that roll. Hatch it. Roll.
He may stop briefly for a drink of water, but the pace never truly slows down. The work stays non-stop, building the kind of world-class stamina many boxers lose as the years pass. That's the part people fail to notice. Floyd rarely looks exhausted. Whether the fight reaches the late rounds, pressure starts mounting, or the action turns wild, his movement remains smooth, his timing stays precise, and his shots carry the same speed and sharpness from start to finish, even when other fighters begin to fade. That kind of consistency doesn't happen accidentally. It's built through workouts like these, where exhaustion becomes a challenge and he refuses to back down. While the public focuses on the fame, wealth, and non-stop attention surrounding him, Floyd stayed committed to the gym, sharpening the same quality that has been the foundation of his career since the beginning: complete control.
No. Hook right hand. Right hand hook. Again. Hook right hand.
As Floyd stays focused on the heavy bag, using every combination as part of a carefully planned conditioning routine, Mike Tyson speaks about the matchup from an entirely different perspective, one driven by aggression, instinct, and the unpredictable nature of boxing. When questioned about finding a way through Floyd's shoulder roll defense, Tyson responds with a simple remark: anything can happen. The answer may sound straightforward, but it reflects the mentality of a fighter who relies on pressure, sharp reactions, and capitalizing the instant an opening appears. What stands out even more is how Tyson quickly turns the discussion away from the bout itself, speaking about his invitational event almost as though that has become his main priority now.
Six.
Well, if you don't know, I want to tell everybody this. The last time I made 25 million, I made more, but last time I made 25 million was 10 years ago.
Wow.
I'm not bragging and boasting, I'm just telling the truth. I'm appreciative and thankful. $25 million is still great money.
Sure.
But
it's not Mayweather money.
well, you know, for the last, I don't know how many years, my guaranteed lowest is be like 32, a little bit over 32. That's my lowest. But you'll also know that in a Canelo fight, you know, I made over 100 million in that fight. And then in a pack, just in 2 fights.
Oh my God.
Pacquiao and Canelo, those 2 fights, somewhere upwards of 400 million. I mean, probably $400 million or better. And just me and sponsorship money. Leading up to the Pacquiao fight, that week I made somewhere 25 to 30 million.
Wow, that's crazy.
So these are my numbers. And, you know, they can say Floyd lying all they want to. If I was so desperate and hurting for money, I'll come back.
You still be fighting?
Tyson openly acknowledges that his place in boxing history is already established, something he no longer feels a need to chase or prove, unlike many fighters who still hold tightly to that identity. That level of honesty makes his perspective unique. He also speaks about discipline, explaining that many modern training environments no longer carry the same demanding culture he experienced during his career, a point that carries credibility considering the intensity he was known for in the gym. From there, Tyson discusses fear not as weakness or promotion, but as a natural part of competing. According to him, elite fighters aren't without no's. They succeed by pushing through them. The difference between both men becomes impossible to ignore. Floyd relies on preparation, precision, stamina, and complete control, while Tyson trusts instincts, experience, and the unpredictable nature of combat. That contrast in mentality and style is what gives this matchup so much intrigue.
You look in phenomenal shape. You look shredded. You're supposed to fight Floyd next month, correct?
Yeah, next month, the month from now, we ready, whatever.
How do you beat the shoulder roll? He's 50 and 0.
Huh?
How do you crack the shoulder roll?
Happens, you never know. Hey, listen, I think this established my importance in the boxing world more so than the amateurs, than the professional fighting, because this is the future. You know, Mike Tyson got a great name, and that's over. That's gone.
Oscar de la Hoya approaches a discussion from a measured and experienced viewpoint, focusing less on promotion and more on the technical side of boxing. Speaking on a possible Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch, he describes it mainly as a form of entertainment, presenting the situation without overhyping it at the same time. He points out that the bout could still matter to the sport if it's held under legitimate competitive conditions and treated as a real fight. When de la Hoya favors Floyd to come out on top, his reasoning is based on reliability rather than personal feelings. He emphasizes Mayweather's discipline, year-round training habits, and ability to stay sharp, reinforcing why the undefeated former champion continues to be viewed as such a dangerous opponent.
But
Hey, guys, one last question, okay?
What part fear plays in the career of a fighter?
Well, if you're not crazy and you're doing this, you're insane, okay? So I worry about guys that are not nervous before fighting because they'll never be a great fighter. Because when you're scared, you avoid pain, you avoid getting hit. And if you're one of those guys that have no fear, you're gonna constantly get hit. And you're not gonna end the game finish. By the time you finish fighting, you'll be talking another language. And that's what happens to those tough guys. End of their career, they're speaking another language.
By this stage, Floyd's strict preparation begins to make complete sense. It's not occasional hard work, but a carefully maintained system built on discipline and repetition. Oscar then turns his attention to Pacquiao, showing respect while also being realistic about the situation. He points out that this version of Pacquiao is different from the one Floyd dealt with years ago, a quiet but meaningful detail in the overall discussion. The conversation then moves to Deontay Wilder, where Oscar praises his incredible punching power but also raises concerns about inactivity, mentioning how many fighters in the modern era step into the ring far less frequently than past generations. From there, Oscar expands the topic beyond individual fighters and looks at boxing overall, explaining how today's athletes manage and structure their careers differently. What makes his viewpoint compelling is the way he combines first-hand experience, promotional knowledge, and a broader understanding of how the sport continues to evolve.
Who would you back? Who do you think would win it? If it's a real fight, because that's what Pacquiao wants, it seems.
Yeah, I think Mayweather will. I think Mayweather will take it. Yeah, one thing about Mayweather you have to understand is he's always taking care of himself. Like his body, physically, mentally, he's always been very sharp and always staying in the gym and doing something physically, right? That's the big advantage he has. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a world-class athlete. Watching Pacquiao's last fight, yeah, you kind of feel bad.
As Oscar's perspective fades in the conversation, then Raphael enters with a far more analytical viewpoint, describing the rematch as something completely expected rather than shocking. He strips away the surprise surrounding it and looks at the bigger picture. Raphael then moves the focus away from pure competition and toward entertainment value, explaining that the event is designed less for dedicated boxing purists and more for mainstream audiences browsing platforms like Netflix in search of a major spectacle. That angle changes how the matchup is viewed. The emphasis shifts away from how competitive the fight may actually be and toward the enormous global appeal attached to names like Mayweather and Pacquiao, whose reputations alone still attract massive attention worldwide.
I feel bad for him, and even though he did win and he did, I guess, pull off a surprise in his last fight with a draw against the world champion, but still you tend to kind of like feel bad because it's not the same Pacquiao. It's definitely not the same Pacquiao I faced. That's for sure. The one that put me on my stool in the 9th round. But I still think that Mayweather will pull this one off. I mean, if it does happen.
Then also explains that although the first Mayweather versus Pacquiao showdown shattered major records, the focus today is different. Instead of chasing historic numbers again, the real objective is generating buzz and keeping people interested. He compares it to MMA by mentioning Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, pointing out that well-known personalities naturally attract attention, regardless of whether they are still in their prime years. This reveals an important part of fan psychology. Audiences are strongly pulled toward recognizable stars and the curiosity surrounding them. Even dedicated boxing supporters who criticize certain matchups usually still end up watching. They debate the fight, question the decisions, and discuss every angle, but they rarely ignore it completely. Looking at the situation through a 2026 lens, then focuses more on the business side of the sport, fan reactions, and the changing nature of boxing itself instead of simply revisiting what happened in the past.
The regular person that's scrolling through Netflix to see what's on a weekend night, they're going to look and say, oh, Mayweather, Pacquiao, I know those guys. They're as famous as any boxers in the world. And if it doesn't cost me any extra money and I'm just paying my normal subscription, yeah, I'll check it out. And it's going to do big numbers. That's why Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson did the numbers it did. And that's why, we saw them be interested in a fight like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua and the other events that they have done. Tyson Fury's come back as they try to, build up more in the UK. And this is going to be the same situation.
11. When you really look at it closely, this goes beyond being just another fight. It feels like several different worlds coming together at once. Floyd remains locked into his training routine, sharp and calculated, protecting the undefeated 50-0 record that defines his legacy. Tyson represents a complete opposite energy, aggressive, unpredictable, and fueled by pressure that can break structure apart in an instant. Meanwhile, Oscar de la Hoya brings a more grounded perspective, reminding people that boxing is still a business where long-term discipline and consistency matter far more than temporary hype. Then Raphael then expands the conversation even further. In his view, this event is not aimed only at dedicated boxing followers. It's being built as a worldwide attraction meant to create conversation, generate curiosity, and entertain audiences everywhere rather than deliver technical perfection inside the ring. In the end, the fight represents a mix of legacy, money, discipline, unpredictability, and spectacle all at the same time. People will continue debating every angle of it for months, yet almost everyone will still tune in to watch. That's what modern boxing has become. Layered, unpredictable, and too massive to overlook.
Be the same situation. They put out a lot of money to do the fight, but not as much as what obviously they generated in 2015. And, it will be, it'll be a big event, but how much of a fight it will be, who the heck knows? But I mean, to answer the question, I'm not like looking forward to it, but it's one of those things that, you got to write about, you got to cover, and you got to, be involved in, because it's still two of the greatest, most famous fighters of all time.
What do you think about it? Who do you believe holds the advantage? Floyd with his calculated accuracy and defensive control, or Tyson with his explosive strength and unpredictable style? And in your opinion, is this a genuine competition or simply the year's biggest boxing spectacle? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Vibe for more boxing news, updates, and detailed breakdowns.